right, welcome to the 4 E's of Kahoot. We get started right away here with, guessed it, a Kahoot. All right. There's paid and free Kahoot. So I wanted to cover both of those and the pre-assessment here. All right, so that's a quick little showing of what Kahoot is, if you haven't used it before. A quick little snapshot, and then I'll get into my slides here. All right, so, oops. So this is my 4 E's of Kahoot. The presentation can be adapted on and shared by others for non-commercial purposes with proper attribution. My name is Michelle Krasnichi. I'm an instructor at Okanagan College in Kelowna. I'd like to thank you for watching today. I would like to respectfully acknowledge that I am very blessed to live, work, and play on the traditional and unceded territory of the Syilx Okanagan people. For diversity, equity, inclusion, I've turned on captioning for this presentation, and I'll provide a transcript after as well. I've made sure to ensure the slides are simple with large font. The colors and contrast are suitable for those with color blindness. So, first of all, first E of Kahoot, does it engage? Pretty good yes here in the engagement. Gustin writes that Kahoot engages learners through active participation and competition with peers. In a review of Kahoots used in a pharmacy class, Cadet shared in the research that 80 to 84% of students reported increased engagement when playing Kahoot in the classroom. In my experience, in my classroom, when I use Kahoot, it has a really great response. It offers students a safe and fun way to engage because wrong answers are not attributed to specific participants, and anonymous nicknames can be used. So it's really anonymous and a low stakes way for learners to engage in the classroom. Only the highest performing students appear on the podium, and lower performing rankings are not publicly displayed. So if you're not doing well, nobody's going to know. The music, the media used in it is really engaging. When I use it in the classroom, learners are immediately excited when they hear the music, even if the slide hasn't like warmed up and it's not actually presenting yet. They hear the music and they're excited. Even my course begins at 7 in the morning, which can be a challenging time to engage learners, and we get engagement right away with Kahoot. So a very, very helpful tool. The paid version also offers a wider variety of question types, which will help them prevent from getting boring or repetitive if you want to use Kahoot often. So overall, Kahoot has a lot of really great built-in features, music, media, uh, just the gamified approach to learning that really helps to engage learners. So I gave it an overall grade of an A in engagement. For excitement, Kahoot creates excitement through music, color, participation, competition, and animations. So lots of good things to excite learners. Learners can compete in the games individually or as part of a team, which can create a lot of excitement and enthusiasm. Because the quizzes are not for grades, again, they're super low stakes way to get participation and excitement, and really just a low stress opportunity to have fun in the classroom. Paid versions of Kahoot offer a few more exciting options. You can add videos, pictures to support the quiz content. You can even do like a Jeopardy style video question. Cons in the Excite area here for Kahoot would be lack of accessibility for vision impaired users. Sometimes people just don't enjoy gamified education, and some people are competitive, but maybe slower to read or not performing as well in the class. They might find it frustrating. And two, there's a time limit. So some users can get overwhelmed instead of excited with the short time to answer the questions. Overall, I gave Excite for Kahoot, lots of great built-in features that are really exciting, gave it an A grade. Next up, does Kahoot educate? I struggled a little bit to grade this section because I feel like the education features vary greatly between the paid and the free versions. And both versions, paid and free, really rely on the content and alignment with course outcomes if they're going to educate well. So that needs to come from the educator, and it's not an inherent Kahoot feature itself. Kahoot does offer a course creation option in which educators can create an interactive slideshow. So really interactive, really great way. You can import slides right from PowerPoint. And then within that, you can add quizzes and polls and all of those great features that Kahoot's really good at. But those features themselves don't actually educate. A lot of the educational content all needs to come from the educator themselves, not the Kahoot platform. That being said, Wang and Tahir report that Kahoot does show improved learning performance, and it allows educators to create unique Kahoots tailored to their specific course content. Kahoot does have some pre-made quizzes and courses made by verified accounts. The verified accounts are for making money. They're not necessarily verified as an educator or an expert in a certain topic. Some of this content is free to use. Others has to be purchased, and it just depends on what account you have, whether you have the free or the paid subscription. A lot of these functions ultimately are better to evaluate learning than to educate. So overall, I gave educate a B+ for Kahoot. Made an error in my slide. Evaluate, I gave a B+. It's an effective formative assessment tool. It can be used as a pre or post learning assessment. So you can start the day with a Kahoot and see what your learners know about the topic that's coming up. You can finish the day with a Kahoot or use it as a midway point to see what areas you need to focus in on more. So we can clearly identify learning gaps, and we can even review in between questions. If we find that a lot of students struggled with a specific question, we can even stop the quiz and just not continue and quickly review some muddy concepts there. So as we know, in order to evaluate our learners, the course alignment really has to be good. So we have to create a quiz that aligns with our course outcomes, or it doesn't really evaluate anything. So again, this is a tool where it really depends on the quality of the questions that the educator is putting in. Kahoot has some really good evaluative tools, but they need to be used well in order to be effective. So it really is up to the instructor. So yesterday in class, I was able to use a Kahoot as kind of a summative or a formative assessment of what my students knew about a topic that we had covered and then a topic that we were going into. So we were doing bowel elimination and moving into urinary elimination because I teach a healthcare course. So I just included questions on both. And then I was able to see what they had retained about the previous subject. So they felt like they could get some right answers. And it also allowed me to throw in some trickier questions for things that we hadn't covered so that we could move into some new content and I could see what they knew about where we were headed and what we don't know yet. At the end of each quiz, you're going to get a summary report. And actually at the end of your courses as well, you'll get a summary report. And it'll just help you see what concepts have been mastered and which need further clarification. Cons to evaluating in Kahoot: only as good as the instructor. The anonymous nature of the nicknames might prevent you as an instructor from knowing which student struggled with what content. So we can overcome this by using real nicknames, by just requesting that they use real names instead of a nickname. Or we can just take it for what it is. It's anonymous, but we know that maybe 60% of the class struggled with this specific question. Another limit to evaluation is that with the free version, you can only have 10 participants. So if you have more participants than that in your class, you might have to join them up on teams, and this can prevent you from really seeing the whole range of your class. However, this is dealt with in the paid version because you can have a much larger number of participants. In evaluation of learning, I took with Glenn Geely, talked really about good alignment of course content. So we have to write effective questions in our Kahoots or they're not going to really evaluate learners at all unless the content has been really carefully designed. Overall, Kahoot is exciting and engaging, 100%, no question, when it comes to education and evaluation. Really up to the user to create an effective and solid evaluation tool there and to provide the education. The quiz feature is more of an evaluation tool than an education tool. But of course, the courses, if you use that function in Kahoot, can be really excellent for education. Overall grade there, B+ for Kahoot. Really well received tool to use in the classroom and can give instructors a lot of great insight. Question period if we had a live audience, but not today. So I hope you enjoyed. There's my references. Thanks so much.